Yeah, Robert has been one, that's been a highlight for us. You know, we just worried to death going into the season about protecting the football and somebody that would run north and south. And, you know, that's what he's learned most, is being able to take the ball and find the seam instead of running from sideline to sideline. Last year he was a little bit apprehensive on what we were doing, how we were doing it, but he's much improved. And I think it's carried over to the offensive side. You know, there's some plays that he would love to have back, but you know, it's made him a better offensive player. He's gaining confidence. And again, he didn't play a lot last year in terms of offense. We didn't play a lot of three wide receivers during the season, and we were more of a two-back team, and so his experience wasn't as much as you would think. Most of his experience was trying to catch a ball in the, you know, coming from a punter. So he's growing up too. He's maturing and becoming a leader. Well, I just watched him this week. You know, it's a tough time sometimes when you, not that, you know, you've got a guy that's playing quarterback with you, but I think he, in terms of, you know, how his season started, 5th year, coming back, and, you know, expectations were high and making mistakes, and a lot of them weren't his. You know, he was forced into certain situations, and again, this is a team sport, and he'd love to have 2 or 3 of the passes back, obviously, and you know, but he's a great guy, and again, he was very supportive on the sideline last week. You find out a lot about people when things get tougher and tougher, and couldn't be any tougher for him, knowing that he's a 5th-year senior and watching from the sideline in the 3rd game of the season that he thought was going to be, you know, a great start and a great year for him, which it still could be. And you know, I'll tell you this: we have not given up on Brandon Cox. Brandon is still going to be a quarterback. Could be at full tilt, you know, this week, next week, because he knows what we're doing, how to do it. He just needs some help around him. And what we're doing with Cody is Cody doesn't quite need as much help because of his athletic ability out of the pocket. And so I think Cody's going to help. I think it's going to help Brandon, and I think vice versa. So, but there's not a guy that I think more of than Brandon Cox. And you know, I just watched him this week, and he's practiced hard, pushed himself hard, been a leader, and you know that's just part of his demeanor. He's a great guy.
Playing 2 quarterbacks, is there anything you can do, or anything you try to do to keep your players from choosing sides, to keep them staying in the locker room?
You know, our guys, you know, they work so hard themselves trying to make themselves a better player. They just want to win games. They want to play well. You know, these guys have had a tough 2 weeks. And you know, you just look at them in their face, and they're looking for answers, as we all are. And you know, they know about as much about the situation within our family, and a football team, as the coaches. So it's been tough on them. But there's not a division. There's nobody has sides, and the defense will even tell you Brandon Cox is going to win and end up winning a lot more games here than he's been part of losses. And so it's and Cody's just now getting started. So not a lot of them know a lot about Cody, other than the fact that you know, he can run a little bit, and we have a few different plays for him. Other than that, you know, everybody wants to win games, and whoever plays the biggest part there for them.
In 2 losses, your defense has really not forced any turnovers, and the offense is really not helping out with a lot of turnovers themselves. Do you think that has really frustrated anyone on the defense, and also do you think the injuries may have played a role in that?
Well, we've had injuries, but that's, you know, when you're playing and you practice, you're expected to play well and get the job done. You know, as much as turning the ball over, we hadn't caused really any turnovers, and so that's just as big of a problem. Our players know that. We talk about it. We talk about it on the field, our defense, about causing turnovers and giving our offense more opportunities. But you know, this is a team sport, and you know, as we talk in there every Sunday, whether we win or lose, we talk about the reasons why we won or why we didn't win, and you know, those have been brought up the last 2 weeks, and we all know it. Players know it. You know, we just got to be more consistent. We've got to coach better. We got to find ways to create more turnovers, maybe in terms of being a little bit more aggressive with our calls or whatever. But it's not just players; it's all of us. And you know, we all win together and we all lose together, and we're all looking for ways to make this team better. This is going to be a good football team, whether it's this week or 4 weeks from now. You know, that we've got a lot of talent on the team, a lot of guys that want to make it better, want to be good, want to be team players. It's just right now it seems like every move we make is we take a step backwards in some areas as a group, not as an individual. Again, this is not an individual sport. Everybody's got to play a role from me on down.
There's been during your tenure here 2 or 3 times where your teams have had to overcome some sort of obstacle to perform at a higher level. Do you use any of those past experiences to help this group regain some of its form?
Well, as coaches, you know, you kind of look back and, you know, how do you handle this situation, that one? In 9 years we've been here, we hadn't had that many. But, you know, I think it's always good, too, that most of your coaches have been together for so long that you can understand maybe sometimes the reasons why, and you can make a quicker fix, so to speak. But, you know, right now it's just it's just one of those situations where we feel like that, you know, we're just one step away. And that's what we keep telling our players. We're one bounce of the ball away here or there that, you know, things could just turn. And it could happen this week. It might not happen this week. You know, but the only way you can do that is, you know, from our coaching staff's experience and what we talked about Sunday and Monday and we brought to the players is, you know, you just keep playing hard and having fun. Everything will fall into place. You know, sooner or later a break's going to go your way, but you got to make those breaks. You know, they're not just going to happen. And, you know, that's the best experience I've found out over the years. You know, crying over spilled milk's never solved any problems. You know, we won 1, we lost 2. That's finished. We talked today about, you know, this is the start of you know, the 4th game. We can't control anything behind us, but we can control what happens in front of us, and we'll keep working hard. Again, as I said earlier, this is going to be a good football team.
Anything else?